Okay, hey, so I've made a video before about organizing large packages. So I made actually a few videos about that. So I thought I'd talk specifically about SPRS, the small packages that fit in the mailbox and how to sort them. Some ways are better than others. This is something I don't really have nailed down yet, but I thought I'd go through what I know about it. So here we go. So first of all, packing spurs, how to pack them. So there's a few different ways I've done this. One way is just like in a bucket or tray, standing up. So back to front. So you've got the next package in the front and then the one after it behind it and so on, just standing up in a tray of some sort, or maybe in a bucket if you're driving your own vehicle. Okay. Also, I've taken it where it's packed in with my mail flats and mail. So either I sub it in as I'm pulling down, kind of collate it in as I'm pulling down, or I have it cased with my flats. So my magazines and letters, I have it cased with that stuff. And then as I pull down, it just goes in the same tray. Okay, so I've done that too. uh, or another way to do this is in a bucket sorted bottom to top. So I like to do, if I'm taking a bucket, either in the LLV on the side, on the floor, or in a POV sitting on the seat next to me, this is how I like to do it, sorted bottom. So I got a bucket. This is what I mean by a bucket. So a mail tub, mail bucket. And then what I do is, you got those large like Amazon envelopes, you just put them down, set the first one on the floor of the bucket, and then the next one goes on top of it and so on. If you get two smaller ones, you could just put them next to each other, right? So you have two on the same level. And then you could have, if you're worried about it, you could take the second one and flip it upside down so that the address is down so that, you pick it up and you look, oh, not that one. Pick up the one, and if the address is showing, that's the next one. That sort of thing, just communicating with yourself. And then you'd put the next one on top of that. If you get another small one and then a large one, well, the next time you get a small one, you could just put it on the other side just to even things out, that sort of thing. So just sorting, just have them, they'd have to already be sorted to do this. And then you just start from the back and just keep building on top. The nice thing about it is that it takes up less space in the bucket. It's easier to fill the bucket all the way up so you can get more in there. And also too, it's nice just pulling off the top of the bucket rather than grabbing inside of it if you're using a bucket. The bad thing about it is if you find a package later, it's harder to put it in because, if you've got it standing up in a tray, like see, these are trays with them standing up. It's easy just to flip to the back and stick one in or pull one out, So if you find one, or if you get a hold, all of a sudden you want to pull it out and put it on hold, whatever, it's easier to do if it's standing up in a tray than it is, or even standing up in a bucket than it is if it's like layered in a bucket. So personally, if I'm in an LLV, I like to have it standing in a tray. Okay. If right now in my POV, I have my flats, my magazines and magazines and small parcels kind of together in a tray. And then I've got my DPS in front of me. That's the way I like to do it now. But if I'm working with my DPS and flats on my lap, like if I'm in a vehicle where I have to like straddle, then I like it top to bottom in a bucket. So it's a choice. But those are the different ways of packing it. Now, as far as sorting it, I've done this a number of ways. So the first way I learned to sort it, my regular would mark everything, mark the large parcels one way, mark the small ones another. So he'd put a parcel marker in with the mail, and then he'd put the parcel, he'd put the spur in a bucket, kind of in order. And since he knew the route, it was easy for him to put them in order just by memory. For me, I would put the parcel marker in, and then I'd look to see which address had a parcel marker, like either just before it or just after it, so I could put it in where it belongs. Like, oh, this is supposed to go after 511, or oh, it's supposed to go in front of 220, and I'd stick it in there where it belongs. So super slow, but it worked. So that's how I did it at first. You could case them after you've pulled down your mail. So if you're on a route that you don't really know that well, one way to do it is after you pull down your mail, You can take the small parcels, the spurs, and you can put them in the case. You can just kind of put them in the case and use the case as your way to organize them. And then you can just pull them down, just like you pulled down your mail. You can pull down your spurs. Okay, so that's one way to do it. I learned that from a carrier in another office. So good way to do it if you don't know the route that well. Now, this is a way I used for a long time. Put 6 containers on the floor, and then if you know the route kind of, you can just go, oh, okay, this is in row 1, this is row 2, this is row 3. So you double sort them. So first you sort them in by row, and then you take a tray and you go back in there, and then you put them in order. So okay, take bucket 1, put those in order, take bucket 2, put those in order, and so on. You could also do this with the scanner. So I've done this on Sunday Amazon. When I'm numbering them, I'll scan it, put the number on it, and on the screen it'll tell you what zone it's in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. So then, yeah, I'll put it, if it says zone 6, I'll put it in the 6th bucket. If it says zone 3, I'll put it in the 3rd bucket. And then I'll put them in order by number afterwards. So double sort them. Yes, you are touching them twice, so it's a little bit slower. But if you have like a lot of packages, this can be a good way to deal with it, just kind of, because then when you're putting them in order, it's not quite as overwhelming. You don't have as many packages to arrange, You sort them into smaller groups and then put them in order, okay? It is slower than just doing it directly. So this is another way to do it, right? You have those 6 trays out, or whatever makes sense for your route, 2 trays, however big your route is. And then you just sort them directly. So you just grab it. Okay, this one goes after this one. This one's in the 3rd tray behind this one. And you just go directly into the trays, put them right after the one they belong to, right in front of the one they belong to, and so on. If you know your route pretty well, you might be able to do that, okay? It's a little trickier than doing it the double sort, but it is faster if you have a good memory, you know what you're doing. Just sort them directly into trays. Okay, and then another way to do it is just case them with your mail. That's what I do. So after I put all my flats in, and I put my DPS in my car, because I take my DPS on the side, then I'll just put my spurs into the case. So like this. So I'll just shove them. If they fit vertically, I'll just shove them in there. If they're smaller, otherwise I'll just put them on top near where they're supposed to go, so that when I'm pulling down, I can kind of just slide them in between. Now, sometimes you get things that are kind of too big to fit in the case, but you still could put them in with your mail. So then what I'll do is I'll just put like a pen or like a scissors or something into the case, kind of like hanging out, so that when I'm pulling down, I'll put them like that. Like here you can see, I don't know, I'm pointing to it right here. Here you can see there's a little blue marker hanging out. Well, that's because it had a package that didn't fit in the case, but I still wanted to pull it down with my mail. So then what I'll do is I'll put that marker in there, or anything, a pen, a scissors, whatever, and then I'll put it in my elephant ear off to the side. So you see I've got looks like 3 packages sitting there that didn't fit in the case. So then as I'm pulling down, I can see that, oh, there's a marker here, look over there, find the one with that address and put it in, okay? So that's what I do right now. I'm still looking for a better way to do it, but what can you do? So if you have some ideas, let me know, but that's kind of how I've learned to do it. All right, have a great day.